tapping on your sort of forearms.
Yeah.
I do that too. I got the rubber balled sticks, so you can just sort of play wherever.
I did have the Call Masters, and I used them quite a lot, but I don't know where they are.
Right.
I might have to buy another.
They do go missing.
They go
sticks.
missing.
Yeah,
because everyone's like, "Oh, these look great."
Yeah. Oh, have a go. Oh, that's right. Never got those back.
So I'm not sure where they are. I guess it's me being a little bit lazy. Usually someone's got a pad.
Yeah.
There's someone's a little bit more organised than me.
Yeah.
I've got to borrow this.
Yeah.
So no particular routine, just warm up, break that sweat.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, got to get everything moving, I suppose, hey? Well, what do you do on the kit just for practice? Like solo, what's your general go-to? Is it, you're doing warm-ups, rudiments, just learning songs for the 20 bands you're working on?
Yeah, how long's a piece of string? It changes. My practice / playing changes.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, not all playing is practice.
No.
So I don't practice I play every day.
Yeah.
But how often do I practice? I practice when I'm trying to do something I can't do. That's practice.
Yeah.
So maybe in my playing every day, there's only a couple of minutes of actual practice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
Learning songs. That's one. I do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Lately, I've relied a lot on putting a stopwatch on. That's my best practice tool. Is I put a stopwatch on for an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like I have to play for this long.
Uh-huh.
So I can't leave. I've got the 10 minutes buffer in there because I know at some point I'm going to piss fight around on my phone, convincing myself, I've got to get back to that email because your brain's always trying to talk you out of it.
Yeah.
So I do at least an hour on the kit. I'd like it to be more, but time evaporates.
Oh, of course. That's an hour a day is pretty damn good.
Yeah, so
I don't even do that.
Yeah, it has to be in the morning.
Yeah.
If I don't get my practice in by noon,
It's kind of gone.
it's not happening.
Yeah.
The day just evaporates, and it's insane how the thing that you love doing, you will try to find every excuse not to go and do it. So every day that's the battle.
Yeah.
So like getting on the kit, putting the timer on. It's like, all right, we're good to go.
Yeah.
When I'm on the kit, it depends what's coming up as to what I work on.
Mm-hmm.
So this past week I've been learning songs for a session job that I got coming up.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's literally just running the songs,
Yeah.
playing them differently every time I do them,
Yeah.
and just seeing what parts
Work and what doesn't.
and what rises to the top.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I found with actually the last Psycroptic recording. Just playing the songs differently every day
Yeah.
until the parts write themselves.
Ah.
Because there's certain parts that it's like, and a couple of weeks in, it's like the song is written.
Yeah.
I don't know where the ideas came from, but they
evolve.
They evolve, yeah. But not getting attached to any parts.
Yeah.
Like being very flexible, and that's very different to how I used to write. I used to be like, this is how it goes.
Yeah.
But now it's very fluid until it gets recorded, and then that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Because you can very much convince yourself that this is how the drum part goes, just because it's something that was hard and you've mastered it, and now you want to use it.
Yeah.
But then you listen back and it's like, that's fucking shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It needed a straight 8 instead of 16th notes with a syncopated pattern.
Yeah.
So just being, I guess, linking that back to the practice, like doing a lot of playing when an idea comes up that I can't do, but it's like that's how it needs to be. Yeah. That's where the practice comes in.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of, especially over the lockdowns and that strange period, I was doing a lot of marching band practice.
Right.
Yeah. So I went back and went through like all the Wilcoxon marching books.
Yeah.
Which it was great.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I can't. My reading was pretty good, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I can't sight read anymore. I can read still, but it's. I need some time with it.
Yeah, it was the same.
Yeah.
So I just did that, and that was drum therapy for myself.
Yeah.
Just doing something very, very hard to take my mind off everything.
Yeah.
So I really got into that for a couple of years, doing all these old snare drum marching exercises, and it did wonders for technique and actually ideas on the kit.
Right.
So different ideas were coming out, and I'm like, I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah. Marching. Yeah. Because it just seemed to, like when I just think of playing drums as a kid, and that's all I learnt was like, it just seems so. I don't know. Just in hindsight, it seemed like it. Just like right now, thinking about doing that, it seemed like it was real easy. But you try and do it now, it's like, fuck.
It's crazy.
It's like, I can play like 250 BPM blast beats, but what is that?
How does that go?
Yeah.
How do I go from this to that?
Yeah.
And that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. So I did that with. I haven't been for a few months, but I've still got a drum teacher I go and see.
Yeah.
Darren Ferrugia, who's, I guess, one of Australia's best jazz fusion guys. Yeah. Amazing player. And I told him, it's like, this is kind of like, you're kind of like my PT for drums.
Yeah.
Because it's a very different style from what we do, but he's a phenomenal reader. He's got a very just comes from a completely opposite spectrum from extreme metal drumming.
Yep.
And that was great. It's great. So that reminds me, I've got to send him a text and book in
another lesson. Well,
book
that's
in
good.
another PT lesson.
Good. We can remind you of that while we talk about it.
Yeah. That definitely was practice, because that stuff I didn't know how to do. And again, I'd put it to the stopwatch.
Yep.
Like, okay, well, let's do half an hour. You can convince yourself, I can fit in half an hour.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, half an hour of just practice.
Yeah. It's no distractions.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
But it does wonders for you.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So I guess for me, it's a lot of what I do is jamming or working on I'm the same. We're doing a new King Parrot album, and this time I've really tried to be super open, not get married to any parts. Even songs, like I'll write a few riffs and that here and there and not get too attached to them. Everyone has input, and then there's been like some of the drumming, I reckon, just by input of like, the other guys, it's better than anything ever. And just because I've gone, all right, well, just because I was like, yeah, that's great, doesn't mean it is. But,
exactly.
Something else could work. So
it's getting that third party input. Trying to be detached from. I want to do this pattern.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's a cool pattern, but it doesn't work in that song with that riff.
Yeah. But
again,
once you've mastered that, you go, another riff comes up, and like, oh, that's where that's going to come in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's cool. I think we're in the similar.
I think it's you just get to that age where you're like, well, no, I've got to be a bit more open about this, and I've got to look after myself more, and I've got to, I want to keep doing this. So.
Yeah. It's a very. I was thinking about this the other day. The older I get, the more I love the instrument, the more I learn, but the less my body wants to cooperate.
Yeah.
So it's like. It's like a slow drawn out torture.
Yeah. I suppose. I mean, you look at like Buddy Rich. He had a heart attack when he was playing and kept playing. He was playing till pretty well the day he died. So
and I'd love to be able to do the same.
Yeah.
And I think technique wise, like again, I've not been married to certain techniques for certain things. Like my body doesn't want to cooperate with certain tempos anymore.
No.
So I've had to, I've got to learn this new technique to play that song because that's how the song goes.
Yeah.
Frustrating, but very cool at the same time because I'm learning new techniques.
Yeah.
Filling in the gaps where they arise.
Yeah, making it work.
Yeah, because that's how the song goes.
Yeah,
That's
so
how
you
it goes.
got to play it how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm big on that too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that sort of slingshots us into what are your top tips for longevity? And I think we've really covered that in everything we've talked about.
Just I guess not being listening to the experts' advice, like finding those experts.
Yeah.
Like finding, you don't have to learn all these things. You just need to find the person or the place or the resource that's going to push you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking action now and not saying, oh, I'll do it eventually.
Yeah.
It's like, well, eventually never comes.
I think, like you said earlier, where you ignore the pain, especially when you're younger, I'm probably exactly the same, you know. You ignore the pain and you just sort of like play through it and say, it'll be right, she'll be right. And when it's not, then
you know about it, yeah.
Yeah, you've definitely got to take action.
Yeah, totally.
Which I think I've gotten better at. Obviously, everyone gets a bit better at as they get older.
Yeah, and just noticing it. It's like, well, there's a few different types of pain. It's like, well, that's painful, but I guess it's, it's like when you work out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's painful, but it's like
it's
positive
it's
pain.
a good pain.
Good
Yeah.
pain.
It's like I felt like I did something.
Yeah. Not
like I can't walk.
Like that's, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. Not ignoring, you can kind of sense it. It's like, I'm not going to ignore that one.
Yeah. And you just want to nip it in the bud, get on top of it,
Yeah. And always, trying to educate yourself with,
always learning.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
There's always someone that can do something that you can't, that you can learn or...
Totally. And I think I've started to become better at that because when you're younger...
The ego gets in the way.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah.
It's like, no, fuck. Oh, this is the way I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the way you do it is shit.
Yeah.
And every once in a while it'll creep back in. I just have to remind myself. It's like, no. Like, you can get humbled,
Totally.
Yeah. Learning, if you can get the technique right, you can always improve it.
Yeah.
Technique is
massive.
Probably 90.
Like I said earlier with the Flow DVD, I literally changed the height of my stool and where my kick drum was for my body type, and I could instantly play more consistent, faster, felt better. Yeah. And I didn't do anything except moved a few bits about 5 centimeters here and there.
Yeah.
And it was just, I actually had a lesson with Flo in Canada at his house.
Oh, awesome.
And sat down, he goes, I'll just play something for me. Sat down and played, and he goes, well, your technique is perfect. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I copied you.
Thank you.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Getting that ego in check and getting it out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's massive. And
it's because obviously you've done it for quite a long time. Good tips. Good tips.
Like, I'm always still trying to learn. I'm definitely not where I want to be. None of us are, and that's kind of the thing with the quote unquote journey.
Totally.
Not to use buzzwords, but let's use one. Yeah. The journey we're on.
That's it. We are on a journey.
It's not a race.
No.
And let's
one step at a time.
Keep learning, keep expanding.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And then passing that on to the younger generations as well.
Kicking it down.
Yeah, definitely. Anything you want to plug? Direct touring, direct merch. Buy your merch at Direct.
There we go. Thank you. I guess all drum related. All the sponsors, of course.
We're both Pearl
guys. Yeah.
Zildjian, Vic Firth, Remo.
I'm not Vic Firth. I am Remo.
Yeah.
So I use Pearl, Zildjian, Chaos drumsticks.
Chaos sticks. Yeah.
It's my mate Josh.
Yeah.
Got a great company.
He does. Wretch.
Yep.
Wretch cymbals, Chaos drums as well.
Chaos drums, yeah. He's got Relic, he's got Rudiment.
Excellent.
not products. I use the kale sticks.